Hello, lovely people. I welcome you to another lesson, and this happy to be lesson 7. So we are going to continue with what we did in the previous video. So as we started with the coding, we are going to code the buttons for the lesson and the exercise. Then we continue with the about button. For the speaker on and off and exit, we did that in our previous video. So let's go straight to our the form dashboard. Then double click on the lesson button here. Just double click on it to open the coding screen for us to start with the coding. So when you double click on it, so we are going to enter the code in between the private and the private sub and the end sub here. Okay, so we want an event to take place when we click on that button. This button, when you click on it, we want this form to show. But one thing we want to do is that we want it to show in such a way that it will be like a dialog box. So it will appear on top of this form. So we are going to use something we call show dialog. So this is the code we are going to enter. Go to enter the form name. So the form that I want to show is FRM lesson, then dot show dialog, then hit on enter. Good. So when you click on this button, this form, which is the alphabet lesson, that's the lesson folder, will now, so the lesson form will open as a form of dialog box. Okay, so we'll do that later. So the same thing we are going to do for the other button. So you're going to do the same thing for this button. So let's double click on this button, then enter the code. So this one is to open the exercise button. So exercise 4. So you're going to enter FRM exercise dot show dialog. Good. Then you go back again and double click on the form, the about fold button, and also type FRM about dot show dialog. Good. So we are good on that. Okay, so now let's run the form and see the effects. We are still using the dashboard. Okay, so this is the system. Okay, you should have changed the startup screen. Okay, so let's switch the sound off. Okay, so this is it. So if we click on this, you see the button has opened as a dialog box. So that is what we are talking about. So if you do the same thing for the rest of them, that's what you're going to see. So these buttons are not working, so we are going to go down that one later. Okay, so let's close it and then continue. Okay, so now we are through with the dashboard. So we are going straight to the lesson form. So you go to the Explorer, Solution Explorer, and search for the lesson form, double click on it. So for me, my lesson form is here. This is the lesson form. So I'm going to code the back button here, the alphabet name button, the alphabet sound button, then the speaker on and off button. So let's start with the back button. So let's double click on the back button and write this code. So you are going to write FRM dashboard meaning that if you click on that button, the FRM dashboard should show. Then me, which is the current form that we are working on, and the current form here is the FRM lesson, should hide. So dot hide. Okay, good. So that is it. So let's go back to the lesson form again. Now we are going to code the speaker on and off, but note that the naming that we gave to the speaker on and off throughout our lesson is the same, so there's no need to double click on it. All you need is to go to the dashboard and then go and copy that code there. So we are going to copy from the button speaker on, BTN speaker on to BTN speaker off, all the code from the private sub to the end sub. Then you come to the form FRM lesson, then just above the end class you paste it there. Good. So we are not going to change anything, you are going to maintain everything there. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do now is to code the buttons on it. There is the alphabet name button, then the alphabet sound button. So let's double click on this one. You double click on this, then you enter this form FRM alphabet name dot show dialog, because you want it to show dialog in the form of a dialog box. Good. Then you go back again and then double click on the alphabet sound and then write the same code for it, but with different name. So this one will be FRM alphabet sound dot show dialog. Good. So we are through with this one too. So we can now run our form. Okay, so let's continue with the coding. So if you run the form, see that if you click on this, the form will open. If you click on this one too, the other form will also open. Okay, so now let's continue to, or let's go to the alphabet name form and then code that one too. So we can now close this one. Let's close this the dashboard. Okay, so let's save it. Okay, let's try to save our work before. Okay, now let's go to the alphabet name. Yes, so this is alphabet name. So just double click on it, this one, and open this form here. Okay, so we are going to code this form. For the first thing is we have the speaker ones here, so we need to code that one too. So we've already copied that one already, so you can go to let's double click on the form and then let's put this thing here, then paste our code. That is the button speaker on and the off button for our speaker, because it runs through the system. Okay, so now let's go back again. So let's code the back button here too, so as we did for the previous form. So just double click on it, then you write this code FRM. So that means when you click on this form, it should send you to the lesson folder, or sorry, the lesson form. So FRM lesson dot show, then me, which is the current form, should now hide. Okay. Okay, so we are now going to code each of the buttons on the form. So we start with this one. So you just double click on this one. Then we tell the system to do some activity. So this is what we're going to do. So we type my.computer. So because we want to add a sound to the system. .audio. Okay, before that, let me do something. Before that, let me delete this one. We need to import all our sounds. The sound that we are going to use for the system. We need to import everything to our system. So let's go to project. Let's go to project and go to this one, my alphabet class here, property here. Okay, so we are going to add our resource. So make sure the resource is selected. Then the audio is selected. So we are going to add resource. We click on add. Then click on existing file. So as I said earlier, I'm going to give you the resources that we are using for the system. But you can equally download it from the net. Okay, so this is okay. So let's go to our resources folder that we created for this project. Okay, so we have the sounds here. So let's click on the sounds, and then the alphabet names are here. So you have the alphabet name here, which is 26. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to select everything, Ctrl+A. Then you open it. So everything will now be imported here. So whilst if it is now here, then we can use it. Unless you import your audios here, you can't use it. So everything is here with their names. So you take note of their names. But one thing about Visual Studio is that it's very easy to use. The moment you start typing something, it will give you an option for you to select from. Okay, so now let's go back to our coding screen. This one is the coding screen. Okay, so we are going to first of all code for button A. That is the A button. So this is what we are going to type: my.computer .audio. So that when the moment you start typing, it will give you an option. .play. Okay, so this is where we are going to add our button, our audio file. So my.resource, because our audio file is now in the resource folder. So my.resource see, it has given our option. So we are dealing with A. So this is the name for that audio. So you just click on it. You click on the space. Then you add your comma. Then you instruct it how it should play. So it should be audio. It should be audio play mode. Audio play mode dot background. But this one we are not going to use loop because we don't want it to repeat itself. We just want it to play just once. So audio play mode dot background. Then you close your parentheses. Good. So that is it. So now we have added our system to it. Now our audios to it. Now when you look at the form, what is it? Why close this form? Okay, so this is it. When you look at the form, you see that there's a picture box here, and we gave this picture box a name. And with this picture, the use of this picture box is that when you click on this picture box should show, and the label here should give the name of this picture box. So for now, let's delete the xylophone from here because we want it to be empty. That place to be empty. So let's delete that one from there. Okay, so now we have an empty label, an empty picture box. Okay, so let me check the label name and see. Okay, so label image name, good. Now let's go back to our form again and continue with the coding. So we want to code so that when you click on the button and the sound play, that picture box should show an image of an object with which it has a name that starts with letter A, and that is what? Apple. So in this resource we are going to use Apple. Okay, so let's go to our resource folder again and search and see if we have our images. Okay, so we have no image here, so we need to import images too. So we go to the resource as we did for the audio, make sure images is selected here, and go to add resource. So we are going to add the resource, sorry. So click on the small arrow here, then click on existing file. Then let's go to our folder. Then you have the images here. So all the images that we are going to use for the system are here. So you just click on Ctrl+A, then you select everything, then you open. Also, these audios also have, these videos, the images has their own format that is accepted by Visual Studio. That's either JPEG or JTIF. That is the format that it accepts. So you need to also convert it if it's not accepted. So we have imported our images here too. So let's go back to our form again, and now let's tell the system to load that particular image box when we click on our form, our pattern. So this is what we're going to do. So we name the picture box. So the picture box was picture box 1. As I said, don't forget the name you give to your objects. So the picture box 1.image should be equal to my.resource dot. So we are using Apple. So this is the image that we are going to use. So dot Apple. Okay, so dot Apple, that is the name for the image. So this is what the image will show. Okay, so we have done now of the image or the picture box. So the next one is the label to show the name of the picture. So that one will be label that label image name dot text should be equal to, and this is a string, that is a plain text, so we need to add quotation marks. So the name should be Apple. Okay, so we have this. So that's the code we are going to use for this. You see. So we have done that for the A button. So you're going to do the same thing for all the other buttons. So we are going to select the second one, double click on the second one, and the only difference is the resource name and the label text here. That is the only difference. So this is what we are going to do to prevent us from wasting our time. We are going to copy everything and we edit it. So let's copy this line of code here and come to this side and just paste it. Then you change the resource name. So resource name, and that one is cat. So the picture is cat, and the audio is B. Good. Then the name should now be cat. So let's do that for the rest of the patterns. So let's do that. So C, you paste it, and you change the naming to C. So C2 is here. Then change this one to C. I think C is cat. Okay, we made a mistake here, so let's go back. C is rather cat here. So this one is apple. So this is the cat. So this one is B. So we need to change this one. So it should rather be ball. Then the resource name is now ball. Good. So let's continue. So the next one is D. Okay, so now let's save our work and then launch our system. But before that, let's go to our project and change the startup screen, and then go to application and then change the startup form. So the startup form, we want to start from the alphabet name. That's what we just coded. So to see the effect of what we did. Okay, so we have changed the alphabet name. So now let's click on start and launch our application. Okay, so now we have this. So let's click on the letter and see the effect.
A.
Okay, so it should have appeared here and name a letter
G.
Okay. So there's one thing we need to do. Let's go back. We need to set the image box, the style to stretch. So now when you come to this side, let's click on the small arrow here, the small arrow just at the top here. You right click on it, or you just click on it. Then the size mode, you change the size mode to stretched image. So let's click on stretched image. Okay, so now we can launch our form and see. Okay, so now this is our form. So let's click on the button
B.
Okay, so you see that it is giving us the sound, the image, and the name. So
T. U. Z.
Okay, so the back button is also working for us here. The lesson button is here. The alphabet name is here. Then
N. O. N. M.
Good. So we are
Q.
through with this. So we can just click on this one to give you the sound, and off it goes. Good. So we can go back and just close the system. Okay, so I'll end here with this lesson and continue another time. And now next lesson, you are going to code the sounds. Then we will continue from there. Thank you all and bye bye.